Welcome to week 3 of Gen 104 College Reading Strategies. As we think about our class so far, we have started with a bunch of reading strategies that we've pulled out of our text, and we've explored a few. We've explored them personally. We've thought about the strategies that we've used historically, maybe as children learning to read or in high school. And then in week 2, we began to think more intentionally about matching a text with certain strategies that would pair well and work well. For example, last week we explored the differences between reading a digital textbook and a paper textbook, and how our strategies should change and flex between those two different types of text. Similarly, we talked about an informational text that would require us to read certain pieces first and then second. This is very different than the type of narrative text that we're going to explore this week that requires us to read from start to finish. I want you to continue to think very specifically about the type of text you have and the strategies that will work well for that given text. So as we jump into week 3, again, we're going to move away from informational texts and textbooks and really focus on narrative reading. When you think about narrative reading, narratives can take on so many different forms. Many of you have chosen books that are narratives for your personal reading in this class. And if you think back to, say, English class in high school, you probably were assigned a novel. This is a good example of a narrative too. Narratives tell a story, but they also can be articles and essays. They come in lots of different forms. And so, as we jump in, let's begin by defining what a narrative text actually is. Now that we have a shared definition of a narrative text, I want to remind you of the end goal in reading. In reading, always, our ultimate goal is comprehension. It's to understand what we're truly reading, right? And so no matter how fancy or how perfect your application of a reading strategy is, you have to be able to make meaning of what you're reading on the page. You need to be able to fully analyze the text that's in front of you. You need to be able to take that text and make it useful. This means maybe the text changes something in your life, or it changes your understanding of something in this world. Maybe it just changes how you feel in this moment, but you have to be able to make meaning and sense out of it. You also need to be able to analyze that text to make it useful. We'll also talk this week about our ability to make some inferences after we read text. These are all very important reading outcomes that we need to strive for as we apply our reading strategies. Some of us can grow in our ability to inference both on the page and in our daily conversations with people. So I hope that as you learn things like analyzing and inferencing skills, you can apply these to both your reading and your spoken conversation. As we learn and we grow as readers, I hope that you are thinking about all of the applications. This week, as we explore those narrative texts, I hope that you find a great deal of success and usefulness in the content we'll cover. If there's anything I can do to support your learning, please don't hesitate to reach out. I look forward to hearing what all of you bring to the table this week.